Yeah.
God, what? Yeah, you know, I'm sort
I
of
think
like, I'm sort of glad. I'm sort of glad. This is, I had this conversation years ago, like, God, when did it originally? When did the original Disney buyout happen for Marvel? I can't fucking. It was a long time ago now. It seems like ancient history. But I remember when it first happened, having this conversation with people left, right, and center, where they were like, "No, man, Disney's gonna buy everything, and then fucking comic books are gonna be dead, and everything's gonna be like." And I had a dozen times I told people like, "It's not gonna. They're gonna buy everything, and they're gonna make something milk toast, and people are gonna stop caring." And people will just go alternate and do things indie and make things their own way, and you're gonna see small companies come up because nobody wants to watch the same shit over and over. And it was true with movies. It's been true with video games. Like we hit this saturation point where like big companies just didn't know how to make what people wanted in the effort to please everyone. They stopped pleasing anyone, and now we have look at this game we're playing. With this beautiful, thriving indie video games, we're seeing it with like cartoons and stories being told, where like little people are getting funded to make amazing things. It's like this huge cultural change that like companies are now like they'd rather fund like a dozen cheap series by like individual creators than one big budget mass appeal thing. Everybody's going that direction, and comic books are finally hitting that thing the same, where people are like, yeah, I don't want to read fucking 50 Batman stories anymore. And I'm a big DC fan, but still, fuck them. Like, I want people to go that direction because, you know, you should look for writers that you like and stories that you're going to stick to, not go to the thing that you recognize because you know who Batman is. It's tough but fair. I'm really happy that we're starting to live in that world. But yeah, I told a million people about it, and I've never been happier to be right about something, because of course there's always a little part of you that's like, oh, maybe Fahrenheit 451's coming. There's always a real chance that that's around the corner. But
so that's the other thing is like we hit like a weird stride in comic books where just like a lot of it became because of like the indie stuff getting more popular, but comic books finally started figuring out that people like reading horror and like darker stuff.
Yeah.
And so there's actually been like a huge boom in like horror and like just more like kind of intense comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Like more adult themed comic books where they're not afraid to be like, hey, this is gonna be some
it's gonna be graphic.
I mean, not trying to say it's like insanely gore. I mean, there are some that are like gory now. But, like, you have gory comic books now. And you have some that are like good true horror stories. There's a lot of comic books that I feel like people are trying to write. Okay, hold on. Let me collect my thoughts real quick.
Go ahead.
So
you're doing something. You're doing like 4 difficult things at once right now.
So I believe that Marvel kind of started this philosophy where comic books need to be made in a format where they could potentially be turned into a movie.
Yeah.
And so because of that, people then found out that people like, or people are starting to dig like horror books, and so we're getting that same thing where you're starting to see horror movie style comic books because they're testing the waters with a story or with to see if it's popular enough. With the writer to see if it's popular enough to be turned into something else.
Interesting.
A key example is writer James Tynion, who's very popular, worked for DC, is starting his own publishing company because he went indie and he just wanted to write some like darker stuff, and he wasn't able to do that with DC, and so like he went to an indie company and wrote like some really nice, just like dark, very real, gritty stuff, and it blew up and became super popular. It's called Something's Killing the Children. It's getting its own like Netflix series now, and it's cool.
Good for you, James Tynion. I'm not familiar with your work, but good on you.
He helped do he was one of the writers who helped do the New 52 Batman. I think New 52 Batman is James Tynion.
Excellent.
I think that's his work.
I like New 52 Batman.
Yeah, which that's New 52 Batman is like the only thing that stayed canon out of New 52.
Yeah.
They like retconned the whole thing except for that. But yeah,
Super cool.
yeah. In fact, they made a comic for Joker, and they poorly named it the Joker and should have named it uh, James Gordon, the comic, because it's just all about Commissioner Gordon.
People wouldn't buy a comic called James Gordon. The marketing department knew what they were doing.
But
All right,
in 3, 2, 1.
let's jam.
All right, we are
250,000 miles away. You're doing it.
Oh
yeah, I forgot about purple end of the game land. That turns out was very far from the end of the game.
yeah.
Significantly.
Well, that was just to get things rocking and rolling, man.
Yeah, that was just warming up. Well, I also thought there'd be something down there. It really looked like it. What is? Oh. It was the easiest puzzle.
It was so easy, yeah.
It just seemed so complicated. I did not realize. I'm kind of ashamed to admit this as we were going through this. I'm like, yeah, man, the top of this mountain has stuff from all the levels of it because you're reclimbing the fucking mountain.
Climbing the mountain.
In my mind, when you went up that elevator, it just took you back to the top of the mountain. I just thought that that's what was happening.
Yep. Nope. We're going back through. That's why we had to re-experience all the different tools that we learned, and we had to re-experience all the different puzzle types. And
yeah.
What have you?
Got to relive it. Got to relive it. Have a long conversation about nerd culture. It's fascinating. All right. Well, fuck you too. Just bonk your head against a wall. Bonk your head against a different wall. Ah. Oh. I am full of questions. How does one... Is it possible to... Oh, yep, there you go. That's some all bullshit. Wait, why do you have to go... Oh, one's a strawberry, huh? Ooh. Oh. Fucking hell. You know something that's, it's like always in my mind now? I didn't used to think about this, but now I like... I can't get rid of it because of Christian. It's like his favorite gag. Is he always likes to say like, stop and think about what that moment would have looked like if this game wasn't cute. Or something like you ran into a wall and died, and then it's like, yeah, you just like smash your skull into it and just like it's like on the ground flailing, and like an ambulance tries to save you. They can't because your head's crushed. Whole fucking thing. And it's like, I remember
that's a thing. Oh my god. Okay. I didn't realize.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Like the first time he said something like that, I was like, oh, Christian, your humor. And then like another time he like said it in like a different time where it was really funny, and then like another, and now it's just like a part of me. Yeah. And you just like I can't say like, oh, you stepped on spikes, and just like a guy just like impaled his fucking foot on the goddamn side. He's like, he's just like stuck in the pit. Is there anybody out there? Why did I come so deep in this fucking dungeon alone? Why didn't I ask for help or bring a cell phone? And it is interesting because it's through Christian's own like bizarre comedic filter. It is his version of looking at a game through like a critical like suspension of disbelief eye.
Yeah. No, I like that actually.
Yeah, it's interesting. It lets you take a moment and say, how did I get here?
It's kind of like when people draw like the hyper realistic Pokemon or like anime characters.
Yeah.
It's like, how would that look if that was real? Like, oh my god, whenever you see like hyper realistic Kirby or Sonic, it's like, oh, that is just unsettling.
It's very strange. Oh my god, I love like when people draw Kirby's feet. That's like my favorite gag. Is just big, weird, human-sized feet on his tiny body.
I know exactly the picture you're talking about.
I've seen a few, but you're definitely picturing the first one I saw. That is the origin of the gag. It's so good. Yeah, this is very strange. Yeah, it's kind of funny. how some games live in reality. Most games live on the fringe of reality, right? They just play by enough of the rules and like yeah, you're kind of like you're in a place that isn't real, so some of the things that happen are ridiculous, but we're basically dealing with the same
At no point do they explain that you're on Earth. They just give you enough sense that it's similar enough to where you're at. But then at some point in their game, they're like the planet Trogargon, and you're like, oh wait,
the fucking yeah, dude. Gears of War, please and thank you. Gears of War, like, you can play that, and it's not hidden in the dialogue, but you would never think about it. Like, at a certain point, they're just like, yeah, you are on an alien planet. You have no business here. Like, oh, yeah, shit. Why are we on this alien planet? I forgot that was part of the story. What the fuck's going on? Yeah, real weird stuff like that. But it's neat when games just have no... This game is one of them, because it's so surreal. It has neither of its feet in reality. It has an emotional story that is here with us, but like the physicality of it is in a whole nother dimension. And there's a few other games that are like that. The principal one that I was going to bring up, I just realized it would be a spoiler, so I'm not going to say it. But it is for something that we are going to do for the channel, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, I do like Enter the Gungeon. Nothing in it is nothing in it like plays by the rules that we play by, and I think that's kind of great. Stuff like that. You do see it, I suppose, more in roguelikes. They have no problem just, roguelikes are mechanics first, world second, usually. I'm trying to think of another good example of just like nothing here is reasonable. I don't know, because like even like most fantasy games are like, you're in a fantasy world with the same physics. You're in a fantasy world, but Earth, Wind, and Fire, like all the basic things that exist in the real world are are here as well. There's just a few extra rules because we have magic and some kind of monsters and this, that, and the other thing. But you're still on a facsimile of Earth. And then there's games like Earthbound where you're in. Like, there's no comfort because, like, it's so ethereal and outside of reality that there's no rules to play by, and that's such a difficult story to craft and tell. To like have a person still visually and mentally engaged by something that just doesn't follow any of the basic rules of, the stories that they're used to. This is interesting. Ooh. This game, when it goes well, looks so effortless, and when it's not going well, it's so stressful.
You see all the pain.
Yeah, but then on the run where you nail it, it always looks like yeah, of course you fucking wasn't that the first thing? But then the way through, you're like, holy crap, this looks so hard.
While the puzzle's being solved, yeah. Which, like any platformer, there's always the moment where you're like, all right, the first run or two, I'm solving the puzzle, and then it's just like, all right, I gotta do it.
And then it
put
clicks.
The pieces together. Where the hell is the corner?
Dude, have you ever played? There's a lot of games like this. Have you ever played Nosferatu? It's a Super Nintendo game.
Yes. Oh, wait, no.
Super Nintendo game. There's another game with a very similar name. I don't know what it is, but that's always the response. People go, "Oh yeah," and I'm like, "It's for Super Nintendo," and they go, "Oh no, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about."
No, go ahead.
So it is a game. It's a lot like I have only dated examples. It's a lot like the original Prince of Persia. It's this very. I actually think I literally had this exact same dialogue when we were talking through Super Meat Boy. It's a really difficult, satisfying platformer. Yeah. Oh well. Let's tune into what's happening here. Then you'll both be dead. You'll live and die together. Well, actually, one of you can fly, so...
Wait.
One of you's gonna make it no matter what. So throw that out there. Do you think Madeline can, kind of jump off of any distance as long as she, times her double jump right?
Okay, so this is the final leg. There are
this is it?
points. This is what I was telling you about.
Oh, yeah,
before.
that's right. You were talking about, the flagstones.
Yeah, these are the
Oh
5
my God.
stars. I am 30 checkpoints away from the end of the game.
Can I ask you a question because of how much it looks like it? Is this what you were playing on the Pico? Is it going to be those levels?
No, it's not like those levels, but
That would have been cool.
No, because these are like double jumpies.
Yeah, climb that bitch.
All right.
Let's get dangerous. Darkwing Duck, I guess. Oh shit, you are just underneath. Oh, I get it. 29. And those are the checkpoints right there?
Yeah. So if I die, I go back to that 29 marker.
The music in this place is really rocking. God damn. What a lovely 28.
Secrets still.
Oh.
Oh.
Here's all the stuff you didn't get.
Oh.
Thanks, Crash Bandicoot.
I was literally about to say, I was like, this is a Crash Bandicoot right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stars from all the different
That's
levels.
probably what all those blue hearts are.
Yeah, that
They're
makes
probably
sense.
like Crash achievements. And that's why they're like extra special.
Big yawn. I was gonna say something I don't remember. I really love this last level is just this. I said it earlier, but I want to reiterate. This is just very good game design to have this kind of moment where you get to see the character like not rebound. I don't want to say, I almost said recover what she's lost, but that's not exactly it either. But you get to hit your pinnacle and then enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a very old school
like,
idea where you didn't just get it in time for the last boss and then the game's over. And they're like, oh, if you want to be cool, play the game again with all your powers. It's like, it's not really, doesn't really work the narrative, but sure.
Or like you can keep playing after the credits, but there's just like nothing to do.
Yeah. It's fucking a Calabeth shit. What was I gonna say? That's like a very cool kind of old idea of letting you engage in being powerful. You know, you get to actually kind of fucking enjoy it for a minute before the experience is over. It makes it feel worthwhile, and it's a hard balance to make. You see, like most games, not all, but it's very, very common for games to have like little RPG elements here and there. But putting them in a way where they're worth seeking for their own, you know, like benefit. I was reading something recently. I was reading a thing for an old game. I was working on an old PC game that I was just slowly kind of chomping through, and a lot of older games are very arcane, and like sometimes there's stuff that just like I don't have the time to learn through brutal experience, or if I don't have a game manual. Old PC games were, especially RPGs, were extremely reliant on their manuals so that you would know basic shit. So you end up reading a lot of like extra stuff if you can't hunt down a game manual. And this was one of those occasions where I was just trying to look up how certain spells worked in the game, and the guy who wrote it was talking very insightfully. He's like, there's a lot of like digging and leveling up in this game. You don't level up particularly quickly, and the fights are very difficult. But the end game is really hard, so you kind of have to. And is it worth it? And he was like, yes, it's completely worth it. This game's very grindy, but the grind is outrageously satisfying. The grind in this game is done very well. Your benefits for leveling up are significant. You don't feel like when you put the work in, you don't go, oh, I'm 2 points healthier or whatever it happens to be, because the levels are sparse and significant. You level up and like, cool, here's a pocket full of new bullshit that you now have available as an option for fights. And the fights don't particularly change. You fight, like, all the enemies in the game could have a same picture and just be like, this is the hard one, this is level 5 version, this is level 6. He's got more attacks and more health and more defense, whatever. But you keep getting more tools and more options and more things you can do in a fight and more weird maneuvers. So the game increases in its basic challenge, so you have to keep getting stronger and craftier to win fights, but it is not saying, okay, you got the ice spell, now you can beat the place where enemies are weak against ice. Good. You got big jump, now you can go to the big jump area and unlock all the stuff that big jump gets you. Like you feel like you're getting ahead of the game Even though the game is still along with you, you're not like winning, but you're still getting a hold of what you wouldn't have had before, and options are opening up, and it's not a circle to fit a circle hole. It's something completely yours. And this just random dude on a random old guide on GameFAQs, like, I was like, man, this guy's some kind of fucking genius. I have never thought about grinding in those terms and like leveling up in RPG elements in those terms, because that's exactly how it should be. The rewards should feel significant. You shouldn't feel like you're either getting the thing you need just to progress the story, or that you're iteratively better at the thing you were already doing. There should be something new and fantastic. I just loved that. I don't know how I got on this like RPG rant, but how did I start here? I had a grander point I was making, and I just got completely lost in that. Fuck was I talking about? Oh, games rewarding you, getting far in the game. Yeah, I also don't know how you. I've been like, I kind of fumbled myself trying to figure out what the hell you're supposed to be doing right now. The kind of victory lap where you're towards the end of like, I don't know, like a Zelda game or like Legend of Mana or something, and you're just you just got it all. You got all your tools and stuff, and you're like, yeah, life is good. And it's like, okay, you can go to the last dungeon. There's some different stuff you can clean up. And when you get to do the last like couple of dungeons, you have got your fucking red tunic and your boomerang, and you got bombs to spare, and you got money to lend, and you got potions, and you're just ready to fucking rock ass. And you get to actually do it a little bit and be awesome for a minute. Not be awesome in like the prelude for the game where they show you, what your character will be like at the game and take your powers away. But you get to earn it, have it, it's new and fresh to you, and you get to indulge in it a little bit before it becomes pointless. Like while you get to have it while there's still stakes, and that's fucking awesome. There you go. That was the longest way to get to that point, but I stand by every word of it, even the rambly ones that were off topic. Ugh. I can't believe I'm not a famous game critic. Ugh.
Yeah.
Why doesn't everyone want to hear my...
I have such great opinions and ideas about video games.
my opinions are very aggressive. Why don't people love me? What was that, like Bill Burr said? I'm not angry. I have a lot of opinions, and I need you to hear all of them before you get to talk again. Criminy.
Oh my god.
It's an occupational hazard.